Hi everyone, and it's a rare day, but I'm going to shoot two short videos. And this second video is really in response to something I read in an email uh, or message from a client. And I wanted to talk about balance. And I think often in life we look for the quick solution, or a quick way to lose fat, or a quick way to build muscle, or a quick way to get some outcome. And certainly there are more efficient ways to do things and very effective ways to do things. And that's probably the benefit of hiring a coach or someone to help you along your path. And certainly that's what I do, and I could certainly help you with that. But what I wanted to talk about is shortcuts that may work in the short phase or over the next month or two, but long term may not produce the success that you're looking for. And ultimately, in health and fitness, we're really, the goal is long term success, not just, lose 20 pounds in 90 days, or gain 10 pounds of muscle in 90 days, or whatever your outcome is. But unless you're an elite athlete preparing for a season, in which that may be the case, but balance is probably the key to long-term success. In fact, it's one of the keys to long-term success. So for example, I understand there's a trend in health, fitness, and wellness, dieting. Trends come and go. Phases, diet fads, exercise fads tend to come and go. But anything that prescribes excess or things that are out of balance may produce success in the short term, but will probably not lead you to success in the long term. Let me give an example. In my experience, low carb, and by low carb dieting, I mean carbohydrate intakes of extremely low levels, less than 50 grams a day in some cases, will allow you to lose weight quickly. Okay? You will absolutely lose weight and probably body fat rapidly. The problem is I've never met anyone that's been successful long term with that. The biggest issue is the body really needs carbohydrates to function properly. The brain, the central nervous system, the skeletal muscles, basically all physiological mechanisms and processes in the body function best with glucose and carbohydrates. And though, yes, it is true, the body can generate glucose from other substrates, fats, proteins. It can break down skeletal muscle into amino acids and then convert that to sugar. It certainly can do that. It can break down fats and use that as energy. It's just not efficient. The bottom line is low carb, which I would consider a non balanced approach to dieting, will produce success short term. But once you start craving carbohydrates, which you will, and especially if you're exercising, because your body needs some carbohydrates to optimally function and move, and the brain needs it to think, you'll start, for most people, they will start consuming carbohydrates again. And what happens is the body sort of says, wow, I'm getting carbohydrates again. I think I'll store some of these. And what happens is the body tends to store them as body fat for a lot of reasons, but basically that the body senses that you may go on another low carbohydrate diet, so the body just sort of tends to store them. I've not found one person that I know of that has been successful long term. By long term, I mean 5 years doing a low carb diet. What works best is a balanced approach to your macronutrients. Maybe 45% of your calories coming from carbohydrates, 15 to 30% from proteins, and probably a moderate diet of anywhere from 15 to 30% fats. Certainly, there's some variance and variation amongst individuals based on their physiology and a number of things. And that's the things that we determine, or I determine whenever I work with clients, is determining an optimal diet that allows them to have satisfaction in what they're eating. In other words, have satiety. And protein, having a little bit higher protein tends to do that in most people. But a balanced approach to dieting with the macronutrients, carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, they're all three needed in your diet. You should not cut out any of those three macronutrients. That you need them all in your diet. But a balanced approach to dieting is the best approach. Of course, you would need, if you're going to lose body fat, you would need to keep your calories below what you're burning, or your active metabolic rate, or your basal metabolic rate plus your activities. And all those things can be calculated, but in the end, it really comes down to finding a diet that you can be satisfied with and feel satiety, have good energy levels, but yet meet the goal of keeping your calories below your requirements if you're wanting to lose. If you're wanting to gain weight, obviously that's kind of a fun place to be, I guess, for a lot of the youth athletes that I work with. But for most people, they would like to lose some body fat, build some muscle, transform their physique, and transform their body composition. And that only occurs with a balanced approach to the macronutrients, keeping your calories below what is required, and then also a balanced approach to exercise. Any exercise program that prescribes ultra high volumes of exercise over long periods of time is probably not going to be successful. And likewise, any exercise program over the long term that prescribes ultra low volumes is probably not going to be successful. So again, a balance is sort of the theme to my talk here. But finding balance with your exercise program, balancing in the calories required to meet your health and body weight goals, being balanced in both areas. Balance is really I guess, sort of an operation, or a fundamental principle of life. And I think we all struggle with finding that balance, but anyway, 25 years working in the industry, those are things. I mean, the low carb diets, all the diets come and go. There's bookstores filled with all of them. And look, the diets will work. But what we're after is long-term success, and a balanced approach to your health and wellness is absolutely the best approach. So 7.5 minutes in, I guess that's the key. Find balance. Be balanced with your macronutrients to meet your caloric goals, to meet your goals. And then find a balanced approach to exercise. Certainly exercise, on most days, I think. Couple days a week of strength training, like I said, 20 to 30 minutes, and then maybe 20 to 30 minutes of cardiovascular exercise on the other days. Try to be progressive over time. In other words, work a little bit harder, not necessarily longer. Be balanced. Have all the macronutrients in your diet. Track your calories. That's a key. So if you're meeting your calorie goals, track your calories versus track all three macronutrients: proteins, carbs, and fats. Track your body weight so if you're consuming too much or too little. But balance is the key. Talk to y'all soon.